Last week I gave you a French movie review. Today we are doing a book review. I have 6 books, technically 5 because 2 are from the same series. Before we start, you can win these 6 books on my Instagram if you live in Canada or in the United States. In Canada, sending a package costs a fortune, so I have to limit it to these 2 countries. I am very sorry about that. I will also add a little card in the package, so if you want to win them, go to my Instagram and follow the step by step. All the books are going to be linked below. I will also give you 2 not to read at the end. One because it's too complicated, although it's a beautiful book. The other one because it's not a great book, quite simply. And we start with French short stories. This one is for everyone, no matter the age, but mostly for adults simply because I write for adults. This one is for the level A2, B1. So like I said, yes, this is my book, I wrote it. But it's a great book, so I included it here. Also, I work really hard, so I didn't want to give you another French storybook. I would rather, promote my own and be able to make more content, more books, and just more lessons in general, basically. So thank you so much if you choose to buy it. But this book is perfect if you're learning French because the stories are short and easy. You can see the first story actually on my website. I will link it below so you can just try it. You can see the questions that there is with the story and everything in between. So I have written this book in a way to build your vocabulary slowly. Since the stories are short and easy to understand, it's great to build your confidence in French or in reading in French. With the book, you get the audio and you have 2 types of questions after each story. I usually encourage reading a story a day for 30 days as a little, French reading challenge. The second one, I recommend this one all the time. I've talked about it many times on my channel, is Le Petit Nicolas. This one is for age 8 years old and up. It's really for everyone. The grade level in French is 3 to 9, so it's quite broad. But the reading level is A2. So why do I like Le Petit Nicolas? I really like it because it's a series, so there are so many of them. If you like this one, you can get all the other ones. Le Petit Nicolas is narrated from Nicolas' perspective, so it provides you a charming and funny insight into a young boy's daily life and experiences. The book captures very well, the innocence and imagination that you have when you're a child. And because it's Nicolas basically speaking and explaining everything in the book, the sentences and the vocabulary are very easy to understand. A chapter is basically a story, so every time you have a little chapter, which I believe is 10 pages, around 10 pages, with little drawings and everything. It's very easy to read, very easy to read. I have to say that there's a little negative point, is that it was written in 1950, so there's a couple of words that might not be used anymore, and also it's 1950, family in 1950, so the mom is home taking care of the children, and the dad is at work. It's very, old school. But it's a great book, highly recommended. And all the other ones, there's so many, so really you have a lot to read. Thanks to Steve for recommending me this one. It's actually 2. Tu es le héros du château oublié, tu es le héros de la forêt ensorcelée. Gonna add the translation somewhere. Those 2 are for age 8 to 12 years old. They are A2, B1. These books are perfect if you are into games, gaming, or if you have a short attention span. Perfect. In these books, you are the hero. You decide the story. So it starts with a little story and then you get choices depending on what you choose. The story will be slightly different. It's basically a game as a book. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. This one is about a castle with ghosts, witches and zombies, and this one is about a forest with fantastic animals. So I find the vocabulary to be easy to understand, and I love the dynamic of the books. I actually never try books where you're the hero, and I'm so glad I tried them. I highly recommend it. Moving to L'étranger. Definitely a higher level, but you can start it after A2. That would be a great challenge, I would say, but L'étranger is a classic, so it means the stranger. I had to read it in school when I was younger. I read half of it for this review, but as I remember, it is a great book. I didn't finish it because I already have so many books to finish. I just wanted to get into my other books. So this is the story of a man in Algeria. The book starts with his mom's death and continues with many events in his life where he feels totally detached, like a stranger in his own life. This is why the book is named L'étranger, the stranger. I don't want to give too much about the story, but it's a great book. It's also short, with only 96 pages, so you won't be overwhelmed while reading it. The vocabulary and sentence structure might be a bit challenging depending if you read a lot or not. But remember that challenging your French is how you're going to improve it. Last one, and this one is also one that I've recommended so many times, Le Petit Prince. So this one is for 12 years old and up, grade 5, 7, I believe. For me, it is a B1, but I recommend it for even beginner, depending if you read it or not. So, Le Petit Prince is another classic. You might have read it in your own language already. It's the most translated book in the world after the Bible. It has been translated into 480 languages, which is crazy. It's also a small book, so it's only 85 pages, which is very good. I mean, you're gonna be able to read that very fast. I rated this one as B1 because the writing is a bit more complicated than others, but because it has been translated into so many languages, you can compare it to your own language as well, and you most likely already know the story if you read it before. The story is great for children and adults. It's very meaningful. I won't give too much about it, but I highly recommend it. This version also has beautiful drawings. Let me just find one. There's one here. So this one is the original with beautiful drawings. It's a very pretty book. Everybody should have it in their life. Now the two that I don't recommend reading, and we start with Les Fables de La Fontaine. It's a beautiful book. You can look on the inside. It's very gorgeous. It's beautiful. But I did not remember them being so hard to read. It's like poetry, so it's very difficult for French learners, I would say. Not if you're French speaker, but for French learner, it's quite difficult for that. If you are more into poetic reading, I will highly recommend it. You will love it. But if you're more into regular reading, I would not recommend it. I mean, it's a beautiful book, so just to have it, it's good as well. If you want to try to win the bundle of books on my Instagram, just let me know if you also want this book with it or if you're not interested. The last one that I hated, I hated every minute of it, was Marc Levy, Et si c'était vrai. It's a bestseller, which surprises me. I don't have it. I read it on my Kindle, but I didn't order it because I didn't want to put it in the package. The story is very strange, and the writing is also very off. I've never heard someone speaking as people speak in this book before. I mean, and that's my first language. I mean, I spent the first 25 years of my life only speaking French. So I don't know, it was just off for me. I just did not like it. I would not recommend it for French learners because really nobody speaks like this. I don't understand the success of this book, and I'm sorry. Which brings me to the end of this review. If you have other recommendations for French books, please leave them in the comment section, and don't forget to check out my Instagram to win the 6 books if you want them, or the 7 if you want Les Fables de La Fontaine. Next week we will focus on the verb manquer. Until then, you can check my other books on my website and on Amazon, and my new workshop, Mastering French Pronounce in 15 days. I will see you next Wednesday for a new lesson. À mercredi prochain.